guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys know, the Sephora VIB sale is happening this upcoming weekend. This past weekend was when the VIB Rouge had first dibs on everything, but I wanted to make sure I got this video out in time for the VIB/Beauty Insiders were available to shop as well, because I know not a lot of people are VIB Rouge. Also, if you want to know what lipstick I am wearing today, I am wearing Maybelline Matte Touch of Spice. I haven't worn it in such a long time. Anyway, so I don't have a ton of high-end products. I think you guys know that because I'm more of a drugstore girl. You guys know that too. But I do have a few things here that I wanted to talk to you guys about that I think would be really good for you guys to purchase if you guys have not already done so, because a lot of the things I am going to mention are like very popular items as it is already. So let's just hop right on in. The spring VIB sale is 15% off of anything that you want to purchase, whereas the fall one is 20% off. So I do recommend shopping the fall sale if you want a better discount, but the discount for the spring VIB sale is really good as well. So I do have makeup items and skincare items. I am going to start with the makeup items because I feel like that's what more people are going to be interested in with this sale. But I do have a lot more skincare items than I do makeup items because I do buy a lot more high-end skincare than I do high-end makeup. Because if your skincare is not good, then it doesn't matter how expensive your makeup was because it's going to look like crap. Take it from experience. Take it from my experience. When I don't take care of my skin that well, my makeup looks like crap. Alright, so let's start with primers. So I have 3 to talk about, and they're all from the brand Smashbox. Smashbox is very well known for their primers. And 2 out of these 3 primers are really talked about, and then the last one, you kind of hear things about it, but it's not as popularly raved about as their other primer. So I did want to mention that as well, and it is one of my favorites. So the first one I want to mention is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. This is a fantastic primer. It's silicone free, alcohol free, and oil free. So if you are, I would recommend this for someone. If you want to use this solely, I would recommend this for someone with combination skin because it adds the moisture, but it's not too heavy on the skin. Like one of the other primers I'm going to be mentioning, like that one I would not recommend at all unless you have severely dry skin, like me. Anyway, the Smashbox Primer Water is really good. It's really refreshing, and I think it's perfect to add on to any other primers that you are using. So like for instance, actually I have 4 primers, sorry, 1 from Benefit. I like using like a pore filling primer, a hydrating primer, and a luminous primer most days. So what I would do is I'll put like the pore filling around my nose because my pores are huge, and then I'll do luminous, and then like I'll spray this on, and that would be the great hydrating one that I'm looking for if I'm not doing a more full coverage foundation. Like today I'm wearing my L'Oreal Lumi foundation. I did build it up so it does look a little cakey right in the creases, but that's okay. I'm starting to find that all foundations are starting to crease in my smile lines just because I smile so dang much. But this is so fantastic, and the mist is so fine. Like, does not taste good. I can put it on after my makeup and it doesn't disturb my makeup. And that's another thing. I find you can use it as a really nice setting spray as well. So yeah. Actually, I do have a setting spray I want to mention too. Hold on. Alright, so let's get back into this. The next primer from Smashbox I wanted to mention is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. It's a primer and moisturizer in one. I find this fantastic. It is very, very, like, liquidy, though. Like, you can kind of see how it's just, and then you just rub it in, and it feels so good. But, I find this is really nice for a hydrating primer. I think it's just fantastic. Like, another one that's really good for combination skin, it has hyaluronic acid and niacinamide. Is that how you say it? But I find it really, really good. And if you have combination to oily skin, but you want that added moisture before putting on your foundation, I think you'll really, really like this. And if you have dry skin, you'll like this. But if you have dry skin, I would not recommend using this on its own because I don't think it's going to be everything that you need. I actually really like combining this with the Smashbox Primer Water. I think it's a great match. But fun fact, you can actually get this cheaper if you buy 2 of the travel sizes than 1 of the full size. Because this is $36, I want to say, and for 1 ounce. Yep, 1 ounce. And the travel size is $15 per half an ounce. So that's still an ounce, but you get it at $30 instead of $36, which I know isn't that big of a savings, but it's still a savings. And if you want to save even more money on top of the 15%, you could do it that way instead of buying the full size. Another primer I wanted to mention is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. I love this primer when it comes to my full coverage foundations. So, like, one of the foundations I'm going to mention, it is really heavy, it is really thick, and it's very full coverage. And I love putting this under because my skin is a little too dry to handle it, and this just kind of evens it out. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, it looks like I haven't used any, but really I've used a ton because you only need like 1, 2, 3, 4 drops, maybe 5, but I don't think I've ever used more than 5 drops of the primer oil. It is just so stinking good. So, hold on one second. Let me grab the last primer out of my empties and I'll show it to you guys. Oh, it's in my hair. So the last primer I wanted to mention to you is the Benefit the Porefessional Primer. I only had the itty bitty baby size because I got it in a package with the Hoola bronzer before I had even bought my Cheekathon palette, and then I bought my Cheekathon palette. Anyway, this is really, really good for minimizing your pores. When I was using this, I would use it along my nose, and then I would mix it with other primers so I wasn't, like, not good looking, you know? But this primer is so good at minimizing your pores, and this might actually be something I pick up, not necessarily during the VIB sale because we are saving up money as of right now, but I do see myself picking this up in the future. That's just what it looks like. Come on. You know, you autofocus when I don't want you to autofocus, and then when I want you to autofocus. There we go. Ugh. Well, you get the point. So all those primers are really, really good. I only have 2 foundations to talk about, so I'm going to rush through those really quickly. The first one I want to talk about is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Ultra Definition Liquid Makeup. I wear mine in the lightest shade, and it's still a little too dark for me. I can only wear it in the summertime. But, I don't know if you can hear, but it is a very liquidy foundation. It even says shake well before use. But it is such a beautiful finish on the face. Every time I wore this over the summer, I got so many compliments on my foundation, and people would be like, what foundation are you using? What's this? What's that? And I think it's just an absolutely beautiful foundation. It's not too heavy, and it doesn't look all that heavy either. So if you don't like heavier looking foundations, I think this would be perfect for you. It's around $40-ish. So yeah, I think the VIB sale is a great time to get it. The other foundation I wanted to mention is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. This is such a good foundation, guys. If you have not tried it, you need to try it. The only thing I would say is if you have dry skin, I would go in with something like the Smashbox Primer Oil. You can actually see how much I've used this way more than this way. But anyway, I would go in with the Smashbox Primer Oil or any kind of facial oil if you have dry skin and you want to use this. It does not come with this pump. You do have to buy the pump separately, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, if you don't, then you're kind of pouring it out and it's kind of Estee Lauder, just make it so it comes with the pump. It makes life so much easier. And you'd make it so more people want to buy it. Because nobody wants to buy a pump separately. Like, that's stupid. Anyway, I bought mine in the shade 1W1 Bone. I might go a little darker for the summertime because I really do like this foundation, but it is my winter shade. And I want to get one in a darker shade for the summertime for if I have any events in the summertime, because in the wintertime, this is my event foundation. But in the summertime, it's the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous, but Ready Set Gorgeous has been discontinued. Thank you, CoverGirl. I see how it is. So I would want to pick this up in a darker shade for the summertime, but I would highly recommend it, and I would highly recommend grabbing the pump as well. I have one color correcting product and one concealer. The color correcting product I want to mention is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. This is so good. It is very emollient and it just looks so good under the eyes. I'm not wearing like any of these products today. That was kind of silly. But I think this is such a good color corrector. And it is kind of expensive. And yes, you can get ones at the drugstore. But I find that this, with how emollient this is, it just really looks really good underneath any concealer. And it doesn't like add any extra dryness to your under eye, which, trust me, as you get older, you do not need. But I find that it color corrects really, really nicely. And you just kind of need to use your finger, the warmth of your finger, to put it in. Now, the concealer I would recommend is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. This is my holy grail concealer. I will buy this this is actually my backup, so I need to go get another backup. Like, that's how much I love this concealer. It's a medium coverage concealer, so it's not too full coverage to where it looks cakey and not nice underneath the skin. Underneath the skin. On the under eyes. Everything's just falling today. Hold on. These videos are kind of dangerous to film. Going back on my concealer, I just find that it looks really, really nice underneath the eyes, and it just blends so beautifully, especially with a sponge, which I would not recommend getting the Beauty Blender. There are just so many drugstore alternatives. I think it's kind of pointless to purchase the Beauty Blender. But anyway, so really, really, really good concealer. Eyeshadow palettes. I got a lot for you. So, anything by Urban Decay. So, I have the Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics, the Naked Basics, the Naked Basics 2. I have Naked 1, Naked 2, Naked 3, and Naked Heat. I also have the Naked Smoky, but that's no longer available, so I didn't show that. But in my personal opinion, Urban Decay has one of the best shadow formulas. The original Naked is my absolute favorite. It's just so basic, and you can do so many things with it. These are $54, which is pretty steep. But do I have my calculator in here? I don't. But 10% off, I want to say that brings it down into the 40s range, like maybe 45. But like Half Baked or Sin. Like, so pretty, right? And then the Naked Heat is the most recent, and it's probably going to be the most popular because warm shades are very, very in right now. But let me show you Lumbre, Dirty Talk, and Scorched. Like, how can you say no? Like, these shadows are so, 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 so beautiful. And I hear so many people on YouTube nowadays being like, oh, they're not as good as what everybody says now that I've tried all these other shadows. And I'm like, bish, what do you think you are? These shadows are still as good as everyone says they are because they are the bomb.com. Sorry, not sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Baby, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. All the basics palettes, they're my least used out of all the Naked palettes, but they are great essentials. This is an all matte palette. You have your row of warm cool tones and your row of warm tones. And then with the smaller ones that came out first, this is actually how I started. No, that's a lie. The Naked 3 was my first one. I really like the original Naked Basics because I find you have more of a diversity than the Naked Basics 2. I find that the Naked Basics 2, those 3 colors in the middle kind of go hand in hand with each other. But I do think these are beautiful, beautiful palettes, and you'd be silly not to try them out. Another shadow formula I really, really like is the Anastasia formula. A lot of people say Modern Renaissance and Subculture do not have the same formula. I'm sorry, but they do. The only difference is Subculture is in shades that you're not used to working with, whereas the Modern Renaissance is more neutral shades, and they're a lot easier to work with and not mess up. I personally prefer the Subculture palette. Let me swatch Electric, Cube, and Adorn. They are so dang pretty. That's them right there. So Electric and Cube are more like toppers than they are shadows. And then the Modern Renaissance is just everyone's favorite palette lately. It's not my favorite, but I will say like Primavera and Vermeer are really, really beautiful shadows to put on the lid. So, yeah. Guys, this is so much stuff. Let me grab a makeup wipe because I'm running out of room here. But, it is super, super pretty. So would highly recommend these palettes, and especially where if you're questioning whether or not you want the Subculture because of all the bad reviews that everyone gave it, I think now would be a time where you can get a pretty good discount on it. Another shadow formula I would highly recommend, Tarte. I love the Tartelette palettes. The Tartelette in Bloom. The original Tartelette is 100% matte, and it's more cool tone purpley shades, which you guys know how I feel about my purple shadows. I may not wear them often, but I love them. And then the Tartelette in Bloom, still very cool toned, still very purple, but you do have a couple of shimmer shades in here. We have Funny Girl and Firecracker, and they are both absolutely gorgeous. And again, yes, they are neutral palettes, but in my personal opinion, if you're gonna buy a high-end palette, I would rather it be something more neutral that I'm gonna use more often, so I can get my money's worth. Now, the last shadow formula I'm gonna recommend. I'm dropping everything. Jeez. Hold on. Alright, so the last eyeshadows I want to recommend to you are Too Faced shadows. I will say though, with Too Faced shadows, you gotta be careful. Their limited edition stuff usually isn't nearly as good as their permanent items. Like the Just Peachy mattes. This is a Sephora exclusive. It's absolutely beautiful. It smells like peaches. And the shadow quality is just there. But if you go to one of their limited edition shades, actually, let me grab you one of their limited edition that I have the peanut butter and jelly. Now, what shade are you drawn to? That purple, right? That's the shade I was drawn to. The purple's kind of powdery, and I don't know. It's not as good as what their permanent line is. So I have the Just Peachy mattes. I have the chocolate bar, the sweet peach, which is super popular. But if you get the sweet peach, just fair warning, the peach smell is a lot on that one. And I also have the chocolate bonbons. I also have the semi-sweet, but they recently discontinued the semi-sweet for God knows what reason, because out of all their palettes, other than the like peach palettes, that was like their warm toned palette. Like, let me show you. This is their warm tone palette. Like, warm. That's more of a warm matte shade. Like, this is very warm. So you would think, out of all of them, this would not be the one that's discontinued, but they discontinued it. So I would recommend any of these shadows. The Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons is my personal favorite. But... That's me. The Sweet Peach was originally going to be limited edition, but the market for it was so high that they ended up making it permanent. Which I know not a lot of people like that, but it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Because I don't really like buying limited edition stuff. Alright. So now we're going on to cheeks. So I have 3 contour palettes and some blushes and some highlighters to talk to you about. So, thank you. The blushes I want to talk to you about are the Benefit Box Blushes. I think you cannot go wrong with these. I have mine in the Cheekathon palette. The Cheekathon palette is discontinued, but I know they have something else very similar out right now. I think it's the Cheek Parade, and I think they're coming out with even another one with their newest blush in it. But this one has Hoola, Rockateur, Dandelion, Dallas, and Coralista. These are some of their more popular. Hold on, let me clean off Coralista for you because it has a lot of Hoola on it. Coralista is my least used out of all the shades because Coralista just doesn't look that great on my cheeks. So I don't really use Coralista. I've used Dallas a couple times. All of these are covered in Hoola because I've been using Hoola a lot. But as soon as Hoola is gone... So those are more of the true shades. Of all the blushes. I'm trying to make it more true to color for you guys. They, like I said, they're all covered in Hoola. So that's more of the true color for you. But these are so good. I even have California in my blush collection. But Hoola is really, really good. I love Rockateur. I love Dandelion. I've used Dallas a couple times. Coralista is my least favorite just because on my personal skin tone, it doesn't really work, but it would look beautiful on deeper skin tones. Now, the 3 contour palettes I have one from Kat Von D, one from Anastasia, and one from Too Faced. So let's talk about Too Faced first. Too Faced has the Cocoa Contour Chiseled to Perfection palette. Now, this palette could be smaller if they did not include the brush that literally nobody uses, because their brush is very similar to this brush. I don't have it anymore, but you can't really contour with this kind of brush. And it would be even smaller if they got rid of this Papa Light shade, because It's literally just glitter. And everyone I've seen review this palette does not like that shade. So why they don't just get rid of it, I don't know. This light cocoa shade is great for setting the under eyes. This medium cocoa shade is great for contouring my cheeks. And this dark cocoa shade is great for bronzing. Now, I don't know. Okay, by the looks of it, there are two different shades of this, because this says light to medium, which 100% light to medium. So I'm really hoping that means they have a medium to dark one, but I'm not positive. So just take a look into that if you don't know, because obviously that shade range isn't going to work for everyone. The Kat Von D Shade in Light is next. I do believe this comes in multiple shades, but I'm not, actually now that I'm looking at it, I'm not sure. I know their cream one comes in multiple shades, so I want to say this one would, but so that's what that looks like. Everyone knows what the Kat Von D is, and these are really, really, really good. This one's great for contouring. This one's great for bronzing. This is a little too dark for me. Same with that one, so I'd probably only use these 4 shades right here, and these 2 would probably go to waste, unless I used them for like shadows. But really good powders. The one I want to recommend the most, because I know it comes in like 3 different shade ranges, or at least 2, is the Anastasia Contour Kit. I have mine in the light to medium, and I believe there's also a medium to, I know there's also a medium to dark. And what's nice is you can, in theory, pop these out. I'm finding I can't. Oh. So you can, but the magnet on them is just really, really strong. I think you can buy replacements. I'm not positive. But this is beautiful. I find all 3 of these... I find that this is going to be your money's worth when it comes to contoured palettes, because I can use all 3 of these shades and all 3 of these shades. And this one's actually kind of like an actual highlighter, but it's really, really subtle, which is fine. Subtle is good sometimes. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend that one. Now, highlighters I want to recommend to you is going to have to go to the Becca highlighters. I have 4. This one is in Champagne Pop. I believe this is exclusive to Sephora. Mine did break, and I did have to repress it. That is something I want to give you guys a warning on, is that these are very, very, very soft, and they can break very easily if you're not careful. I also have Pearl. I also have Moonstone. I'm wearing Moonstone today. And I also have Opal. Now, I find these to be very inclusive, because even like if you look at the swatches, it looks like this one, which is Champagne Pop, would not work for me, but it actually does work for me because I'm not piling it on thick. So I find that the Becca highlighters are very inclusive because of their shade range. Okay, so I have some mascara and some lip products, and then we're going to go into the skincare aspect. So I only have 1 mascara, and it's the Benefit of Their Real Mascara. This is such a good mascara. Like, if I lost all my mascaras and I could only repurchase one, it'd be this one. This one works so well on my personal lashes. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but it works so well on my personal lashes, and I hate their roller lash mascara. So I do want to try out their Bad Gal Bang, though. Not gonna lie. So, really, really, really good mascara. I find that it really lengthens and voluminizes my lashes, and I don't need to play around with it too much. So I really, really like that. One lip gloss I am going to recommend to you that I don't have with me because I actually left it at my in-laws' house is the Buxom Full On Lip Creams. They are a plumping lip gloss, but they feel so nice, and they look so nice, and it has like this mint smell to it, so it makes your breath, like, it gives the illusion that your breath smells good even if it don't. But yeah, Another lip gloss formula that I really like is the NARS one. I actually want to get more. I have the shade Chelsea Girls because it was really, really, really popular a couple years ago. But this is a really, really good lip gloss formula, and I want to get more, and I would highly recommend at least check out Chelsea Girls, because Chelsea Girls is a really like versatile color. It's like this pinky color, so I would recommend that. And the other lip product I would recommend to you are the Anastasia liquid lipsticks. Now I have 5, but I actually bought all of mine at TJ Maxx. So if you want to hold off and wait and check your TJ Maxx, I got mine for like $7, and they're normally $20, which with a 10% you would get like $2 off, making them $18, which isn't that great of a discount. But if you're finding that your TJ Maxx doesn't hold these, or if they don't hold colors that are still available, and you only want to get colors that are still available, that way if you love it you can repurchase it, then I would definitely get them during these sales. I have the shades Naked, Karina, Craft, Catnip, and Vamp, and I think these are absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. And I think the formula is amazing. They're not too drying, but they don't transfer. So I would highly recommend these. And as you can see, the color range is just phenomenal. All right, now we're gonna go into skincare. Now this is where I like to have fun in Sephora, because let me tell you, I'm much more of a drugstore girl. I don't have too many high-end makeup products. Like when I was going through everything for this video, I was struggling, yo. I was like, do I really not have anything else? And then that's when I thought, I can include skincare. Like, why can't you include skincare, Cassie? That would be kind of dumb. So the biggest thing I would recommend for you to buy during this sale is the Clarisonic or the Foreo. I have not tried the Foreo, but I've heard many, many, many good things about the Foreo, but I personally love the Clarisonic. So the Clarisonic itself is a one-time purchase. You don't need to continuously buy the actual brush handle part, because it comes with a charger that magnetizes, and you just charge it, and it is waterproof, so you can keep it in the shower. The only thing you have to replace are the brush heads every 3 months. It's supposed to be every 3 months. I tend to extend it to every 4, depending on how my brush head looks. Like, my brush head still looks really, really good. It's only just starting now to bend out of form, so I decided to use it for that extra month. But at the beginning of May, I will be switching it out. But at the beginning of April, it wasn't too deformed yet. But now, as you can see, it is starting to get a little deformed. So I will switch it out at the end of April, beginning of May. But this has cleared up my skin so much since I've started using it. And it is expensive. It's like $150 or something like that. Now, like I said, the downfall is you do have to replace the brush heads. So if you already own the Clarisonic, I think the VIB sales are the perfect time to replenish your heads. I personally like getting the Radiance brush head. That's just my preference. I find the Radiance brush head to be really soft and really it's really nice and gentle for my skin. So where I have dry skin, so I personally like the Radiance brush head, but there are so many different types of brush heads. They have the acne one, and they have the deep cleansing one. They have the sensitive skin one. Like, there's so many. And I would highly recommend it. But ever since using the Radiance one, I was using the sensitive one at first, and the sensitive one was still a little too harsh on my skin to where I could only use the Clarisonic maybe 3 times a week. But with the Radiance brush head, I can use it every single night. So yeah, there's that. Cleanser I would recommend. I actually have 2. Actually, I have 3. I just don't have one with me, so I'll mention that one first. I would highly recommend the Fresh Soy Face Cleanser. I think that is such a good cleanser. It smells like cucumbers, and it doesn't foam up on your skin, but if you have dry skin like me, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a really, really, really good cleanser for us with dry skin. But if your Sephora doesn't have it in stock and you don't want to order online just for the chance of it not working, the one that 95% of the YouTube community recommends, and I would recommend, is the Philosophy Purity cleanser. This is my backup. This is brand new. I still have like that much to go on my current one, so this is just a backup. I think it smells really stinking good. It is sealed, but you can kind of smell it through the seal, but it smells really stinking good. And again, it doesn't foam up all that much, but it's just so gentle and it's so good that I would highly recommend it for you. Another one actually have 4 cleansers. Another one I would recommend is the Murad anti-aging acne one. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have a picture up here, but that one I've repurchased a couple times, and I really, really do enjoy that one. The one I'm using right now that I would recommend is the Kate Somerville Exfoliate Cleanser Daily Foaming Wash. This does not have any acne medication in it or anything, at least not to my knowledge. I love the smell of this. I don't know why. It doesn't smell like anything special, but I just love the smell of it. Don't know why, but it's so good. But Kate Somerville's expensive. That's expensive. And I think this would be a great time for you to purchase it. Although I've used it for like a week, and as you can see, you don't need much. You really don't need much. And this does foam, so when you use it on your Clarisonic, it does kind of get everywhere, but that's okay. I still really, really, really enjoy this face wash, and I want to repurchase it, but at the same time, Kate Somerville is so expensive. I do want to try out some of their moisturizers too, but again, so expensive. Okay, so I do want to mention the Kate Somerville Exfoliate Face Scrub. I have like a love-hate relationship with this. I don't like how fine it is, but at the same time, my skin looks so good when I use it. So I'm assuming there's also chemical exfoliation along in there. So I would highly recommend that. Another thing I would recommend is the Peter Thomas Roth Firm X Peeling Gel. This is so good. I only have a sample, so I'm not going to show it to you because I'm treasuring this, because the full size is like at least $40, if not more. But basically, it's a gel that you put on your skin, and it clumps up all the dead skin, and you literally roll it off of your face. It's so good. I usually use this the night before an event just to get the extra dead skin off and all that fun jazz. Let's see. An eye cream I would highly, highly, highly recommend is the Origins Ginseng Refreshing Eye Cream to Brighten and Depuff. I actually got a sample of this from Sephora, and it was so good that I bought the full size. It smells so good. It has like a salmon-y color to it to quote-unquote color correct, but it really doesn't. Like, they're fooling you. But I just find it works so nicely. Like, I'm obsessed with it. A sunscreen I would really, really highly recommend to you. Let's see how far down I am. Okay, the packaging's too opaque for me to show you how far down I am, but it's the Shiseido Ultimate Sun Protection Cream Broad Spectrum SPF 50 Plus for face, water resistant for 80 minutes. This is so good. I find that it leaves a small white cast on my face, but not as much as some other ones I've tried, and it doesn't feel greasy, and it's so good. It's so good. It's expensive though, but it's so good. A moisturizer I would recommend. This was an eye cream though. I think I called it a moisturizer, but this is an eye cream. But a moisturizer I would recommend is also from Origins, and is the High Potency Nitamins. This smells like oranges, and as you can see, I've hit pan. do you still call it hitting pan when you reach the bottom of a skincare product? I don't know, but it smells so good. It really, really hydrates my skin. It really plumps it up to the point where I don't need to use facial oils, but I still do because I got dry skin, babe. But I really, 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 really love this. It is in a dark packaging. I want to say because it has vitamin C in it. Not really sure. But normally when it has like that citrusy smell, it has vitamin C in it. So they keep it in a dark packaging. You can still kind of see through it. But it just won't get damaged as badly. But I will say with moisturizers in jars like this, I'll use a Q-tip to take out the moisturizer instead of my fingers, just because I don't want to damage the integrity of the product. I know I'm playing with my hair a lot, and I'm sorry. My hair is just kind of driving me crazy today. A serum I would highly recommend. It's expensive. It's the Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair. This is just the little travel size. This tiny itty bitty travel size, it's 0.24 fluid ounces, is $16. The full size is $98. But Sephora has a 2-pack for $168. And if I had the money, I would get it. Because it's so good! Like, the second I started using this, I saw a huge difference in my skin. And I was like, I need it forever. And I just need to save up the money and get the full size. Actually, I need to save up the money and get the double full size. Another serum I would recommend to you that I also only have in a travel size is the Murad Rapid Age Spot and Pigment Lightening Serum. Now, it comes in 2 sizes. Ulta has the smaller size where it's like $70. And Sephora has a bigger size where it's like $90. But this works so good at lightening your dark skin. Like before, I have a lot of dark skin here. You can kind of still see it through my foundation, but you could see it a lot more before. So this has done just a really, really good job at lightening my dark pigmentation and acne scars. And it does not smell good. I will tell you that. But you only need 1 pump of the travel size pump, and it'll go all over your face. All right, I have another moisturizer to talk about, and it is the Peter Thomas Roth Water Drenched Hyaluronic Cloud Cream. This is so good, you guys. Like, I got a sample of it with a 100-point perk. Doesn't smell like anything. But it is so stinking hydrating. But it sinks into your skin so fast. This is just absolutely fantastic. I got it in a kit with the matching face wash and serum for my birthday from one of my friends. And it is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. I haven't opened this one yet. Well, I mean, I did to show you guys the product. But I haven't, used it yet. And it is really thick. Even though I know it's not going to go anywhere, that still always makes me nervous. Does it make anyone else nervous still? But I just really, really love this. It's really good for dry skin, and I would recommend it to anyone. All right, and I have 3 masks to talk about, and then I'm done. Even though I don't have a lot of high-end products, this video still ends up being like an hour long. Alright, so the first mask I want to talk about is the Origins Clear Improvement Active Charcoal Mask to Clear Pores. This is a really good charcoal mask, and I find it's also really good for dry skin on top of the fact that it's a really good charcoal mask. It doesn't dry out my skin, but it still just gets everything out. And I really love that. Another one that gets everything out is the Purity Made Simple Pore Extractor. I'm down to here. And it's making me nervous, but it works so well. It literally cleans out your skin. Everything comes out. It does not smell good. It wouldn't smell good to a normal person, but I like the smell. I also like the smell of gasoline, but what's also really nice about this is if you apply it and you leave it on, it has exfoliating beads in it, so when you go to rinse it off, they actually recommend you exfoliate with it as well. And I think that also helps the whole process because it's just sucking everything out and then you exfoliate all that gunk away. So I really, really, really like this. And the last face mask and the last product I want to mention is the Origins Drink Up Intensive Overnight Mask to quench skin's thirst. I would recommend this for anyone, whether you have oily skin, dry skin, don't matter. Because fun fact, when you have oily skin, it means that your skin wants more moisture. But what it's doing is it's producing more oil to make up for the fact, which is why I still don't understand why dry skin exists. But this mask solves all my problems. It's gonna give me babies. It's gonna keep my marriage together. Not like there's anything wrong with my marriage, but it'll keep my family alive. It'll end world hunger. It's just so good. That's all I need to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you plan on purchasing anything from the Sephora VIB sale, or if you're gonna wait till the next Sephora VIB sale where you get 20% off instead of 15%. Let me know down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.